America's insatiable passion for sports has created a need for a national daily sports newspaper. The time has come for The National. I wanted a name that said we're part of the classic and traditional nature of sport, part of the whole continuum of sport in America. And I wanted a name that was at the classy end of the scale, too.
I think of the 1927 Yankees, Lombardi's Green Bay Packers, the Celtics, all the great winning teams. That's what we're building here at the National. Right from the start, swinging for the fences.
Think about it. National sports bond our culture. The National Football League, the National Basketball Association, the National Hockey League, the National Championship. The best surrounded by all the tradition, legend, and magic of sports. That's The National. The best-looking, best-written newspaper in America. The Wall Street Journal of Sports. There's no question in my mind that The National has a major role to play in the future of journalism, in the fabric of American society, and in the daily lives of millions of sports fans. After all, for anybody who loves sports, what could be more natural than a sports newspaper that not only delivers all the scores, but captures all the color, the glory, the passion, the beauty, and the sheer joy of sport, and does it every day. With the biggest news on the front page. Sometimes it's international or national, like the Super Bowl or the World Series. More often it's local. In Chicago, the Cubs, or the Lakers in L.A. The National is also a daily local sports paper. In every city where you find The National, we have a special staff covering the local teams better than anybody else in town. The National can do all this because it's the most technologically advanced newspaper in the United States. Every page in the paper is created electronically and transmitted by satellite to printing plants around the country, delivering later scores and the very best in graphics and action photography. For advertisers, the technology means fast close capabilities that no other publication can match. For fans, The National is a dream come true. Complete game reports, team analysis, player profiles, the week's stats, and the biggest, best box scores you've ever seen. Hard-hitting investigative reporting, features like The Main Event, a substantial magazine-type story in the middle of the paper, even cartoons and gossip. Everything you'd find in any other top-quality newspaper, but all sports, written to inform and to entertain. Because above all, sport is fun. The fun of sport is so important to The National that we built the idea right into our logo. Our Latin motto says it perfectly. Fair play for all and fun and games. Nothing like The National has ever been done before. To do it right, we conducted an all-out search for the very best newspaper men and women in America. Van McKenzie, the award-winning blood and guts sports editor of the Atlanta Constitution, came aboard as managing editor. Soon The National had a team of the greatest writers and editors ever assembled at any one daily newspaper. Dave Kindred, spiritual heir to Red Smith, also from the Constitution. Scott Osler, the brightest, funniest columnist in America from the Los Angeles Times. And the sassy Mike Lupica of the Daily News, the best-known and best-read columnist in New York.
You got that right, Frank.
I personally do one column a week, and I'm scared to death to be going up against these guys.
You got that right, too, Frank.
We have talented specialists for every major arena. The top baseball writers and football writers. College basketball is covered by John Feinstein, author of the largest-selling book in the history of sport. Why did these extraordinary people leave top jobs all over the country to sign on with The National? Because they wanted to be part of something big, something historic. They all believed in a great idea whose time has come. As America kicks off the 90s, the country's love for sports is hotter than ever. The story unfolds daily, and that's the way it's got to be told. The National Sports Daily, for the everyday fan, every day.
Put like
Kansas is one other retail store.
On the one hand, putting out a paper today, we're already preparing for tomorrow's paper. Illustrations and pictures and stories are being shot for next week and the week after. It's constantly going. It never stops.
We all have a common goal of putting out the National every single day and making it the best product that we can make it. It's got to be creative. It's got to be accurate. It's got to be exciting. It's got to be all these things.
There's almost a new hunger in the media for what the athletes are doing away from the field. So what I do is, with photographs and with copy and with interviews, is show people and tell them where these guys are going, who they're with, what they're wearing, all the very important things everybody wants to know.
Our attitude here is not how difficult something is to do. It's what will it take to get it done. And then we go out and do it.
We were able, with the help of the National and your production department, to put together an ad within 2 days to congratulate Gretzky on his 2,000 point goal. You wouldn't have been able to do that with the weekly or a monthly. You wouldn't be able to turn it around that fast.
We're interested in sports, and we think National is the best way to get to the sports people in the United States. I'm a sports fan myself, and I have to read it every day. My secretary's first job of the day is not to get me coffee, it's to the National.
Some other publications might come out and tell you about games that happened a week ago. The National is going to tell you hours after they happened, and that's when people really want to read about them.
You want a paper that's going to give you everything that you need about sports if you're going to follow them and be intelligent about them and understand what's going on anyway, and the National does that.
Best coverage, most comprehensive, best box scores, easy to read, great columnists, funny. What else is there to say? Blows everything away.
I read it on the subway coming in the morning. I'll read some articles that are of the greatest interest to me, and then I'll hold on to it until about lunchtime, and I'll finish the paper. Then I pass it on to a friend.
It's invaluable, it's necessary, it's important. It's part of life.
What you want to hit is that publication that they pick up first, that they feel is so important to them that they can't avoid reading it every day or every week or whenever it comes in. The National supplies that.
You know, when you buy the National, you're buying the attention of every single person who reads the National, which I'm sure is not the case with a whole lot of more general interest types of publications.
We did a college basketball sweepstakes, and we had 6,000 responses, and the ad only appeared 2 or 3 days, for 2 or 3 issues, I think it was, prior to the start of the event. Extremely successful.
We went to Hyundai with an idea, and the idea was to get involved with the NCAA March Madness tournament.
Hey, Nick.
48 out of 63 games in the basketball?
Yeah, I sure did in the NCAA tournament, the National.
That's unbelievable.
In a 3-day period, received over 18,000 responses, which, with our circulation at approximately the 200,000 level, is an unheard of response rate for any vehicle.
People refer to it, people talk about it, and when you can get your accounts in there and your clients in there for really a fraction of the cost that you would spend to be in the newspaper or something like Sports Illustrated, it's a really neat part of a media buy.
Sometimes, you know, it gets kind of hectic in here trying to get 9 different pictures in from different sporting events. In the newspapers, time is everything, because you're always working on deadline, and the quicker you can get things, the better.
People are moving around. All of the games are coming in. We're getting faxes from sites. We're getting stringer calls. We're updating standings, updating box scores.
You know, there's a deadline, and you have to make it. And, you know, that makes it even more exciting, because, you know, you don't have forever to do this. And, you know, it's a moment in time, and we capture it and get it out.
A newspaper has got to be a combination of controversy, of inquiry, of in-depth reporting. It's got to be all those things, and that's what we seek to bring you.
More time involved in the publication, more time involved in the promotion, more time involved with my brand message, and hopefully more sales. That's what it's all about, right?